3 years ago, I discovered something that completely shattered everything I thought I knew about manifestation. I was sitting in my laboratory, measuring the brain waves of a participant during a deep meditation session, when something extraordinary happened. Her brain suddenly shifted into a coherent gamma state, the same frequency we see in the most advanced mystics and healers. But here's what made my hands tremble as I watched the data. 3 weeks later, this woman called me in tears. Not because something terrible had happened, but because she had just manifested the exact life she had been visualizing during that session. The financial abundance, the loving relationship, the perfect health, everything had aligned in ways that seemed impossible. That moment changed my understanding of how manifestation really works, because what I witnessed wasn't just positive thinking or wishful visualization. This was the precise neurological rewiring of her subconscious mind, creating new neural pathways that literally broadcasted a different frequency into the quantum field. And in the next 25 minutes, I'm going to share with you the exact 3-day protocol that made this transformation possible. This isn't about hoping or wishing. This is about understanding the scientific mechanics of how your brain can be reprogrammed to manifest any reality you choose. But before we dive deeper, I need you to understand something crucial. What you're about to learn works because it's based on measurable neuroscience, not mystical thinking. When you change your inner dialogue with the precision I'm about to show you, your brain literally creates new neural networks. These networks then emit a coherent electromagnetic frequency that the quantum field responds to instantly. It's as reliable as gravity, and once you understand the mechanics, you'll realize that manifestation isn't miraculous. It's simply science that most people don't know how to apply. If you're ready to experience this transformation yourself, I want you to comment the word aligned below. This isn't just engagement. When hundreds of us write this together, we create what quantum physicists call coherent resonance. Our collective intention literally amplifies the field around each individual viewer, making your personal transformation faster and more powerful. So pause right now, write aligned, and let's begin this journey together. The breakthrough I'm about to share came from years of studying thousands of brain scans during meditation and manifestation practices. What I discovered was that people who successfully manifest share one specific neurological pattern. Their self-talk isn't random or chaotic. Instead, they speak to themselves with the same neural coherence we see in their brain waves. Their inner dialogue operates like a precise frequency generator, broadcasting their desired reality into existence. Most people completely misunderstand how manifestation actually works. They think it's about repeating affirmations or visualizing occasionally. But the real secret lies in something I call neuroplastic self-programming, the systematic rewiring of your inner conversation to match the electromagnetic signature of your desired reality. When you speak to yourself in a specific way, with precise emotional coherence, your brain doesn't distinguish between what you're imagining and what you're experiencing. It begins laying down the neural pathways of your new reality immediately. This is where the 3-day protocol becomes crucial. Neuroscience shows us that it takes approximately 72 hours for new neural pathways to stabilize and begin influencing your automatic behaviors and electromagnetic field. During these 3 days, every word you speak to yourself either reinforces your old reality or constructs your new one. There's no neutral ground. Your brain is constantly choosing which neural networks to strengthen based on your internal focus. Here's what happens neurologically when you apply this method correctly. The moment you begin speaking to yourself, as if your desired reality is already true, your brain starts producing different neurotransmitters. Instead of the stress chemicals that keep you trapped in familiar patterns, you begin generating elevated emotions like gratitude, joy, and certainty. These emotions create coherent brain waves that synchronize your entire nervous system, transforming you into a living broadcast tower for your new reality. The technique begins the instant you wake up, while your brain is still in a theta state, the same frequency we see in deep healing and profound creativity. Before your conscious mind fully activates, before you check your phone or think about your problems, you immediately begin speaking to yourself with absolute conviction. If you're manifesting financial abundance, you don't say, "I want money," or "I hope to be wealthy." Instead, you declare with emotional certainty, "I am deeply grateful for the continuous flow of abundance that moves through my life effortlessly." But here's the critical part that most people miss. It's not just the words that create the change, it's the emotional coherence behind those words. When you speak to yourself with the feeling of someone who already has what you desire, your heart rhythm becomes coherent, your brain waves synchronize, and your entire electromagnetic field shifts. You're literally broadcasting a different signal into the quantum field, one that matches the frequency of your desired reality. Throughout the day, as external circumstances try to pull you back into old patterns of thinking, you must become vigilant about protecting this new neural state. Every time doubt arises, every time someone mentions limitation or struggle, you immediately return to your inner dialogue of certainty. You replace "this is taking too long" with "everything is unfolding in perfect timing." You transform "I don't see how this is possible" into "I trust the intelligence of the universe to orchestrate this manifestation." This constant inner revision isn't just positive thinking, it's neuroplastic surgery. You're literally cutting away old neural pathways while strengthening new ones. Each time you choose a thought that aligns with your desired reality, you're building the neurological infrastructure that will automatically attract those experiences into your life. Your brain starts firing in patterns that match successful, abundant, healthy people, and the field responds accordingly. As you move through your day, you begin to notice something remarkable happening. Opportunities start appearing that weren't there before. People begin treating you differently. Circumstances align in ways that feel almost magical. But this isn't luck or coincidence. It's your electromagnetic field broadcasting a coherent signal that the quantum field must respond to. You've literally become a different person neurologically, and reality has no choice but to mirror this transformation. The practice becomes even more powerful as evening approaches and your brain prepares for sleep. This is when your subconscious mind becomes most receptive to new programming. As you lie down, you choose a simple phrase that captures the essence of your desired reality and repeat it softly in your mind. "I am so grateful for the perfect health and vitality I enjoy." Or, "I celebrate the beautiful, loving relationship that fills my life with joy." You speak these words not as someone hoping for change, but as someone already living that truth. During sleep, something extraordinary happens. Your subconscious mind takes these final thoughts and weaves them into the fabric of your identity. Throughout the night, your brain consolidates these new neural pathways, making them stronger and more automatic. You literally wake up as a different person, someone whose default thoughts, feelings, and electromagnetic field match your desired reality rather than your old limitations. On the second day of this protocol, you might notice your old mindset trying to resurface. This is completely normal, and actually a sign that the process is working. Your familiar self is sensing the threat of transformation and attempting to pull you back into known patterns. This is the moment when most people give up, thinking the method isn't working. But this resistance is actually evidence that your brain is changing. The discomfort you feel is old neural networks dissolving to make room for new ones. When doubt arises, when fear whispers that this is impossible, when circumstances seem to contradict your inner knowing, you have a choice. You can either feed the old neural pathways with attention and emotional energy, or you can starve them while nourishing your new identity. Every time you choose to think, feel, and speak from your elevated state rather than your circumstantial reality, you're building the neurological momentum that will soon become unstoppable. By the third day, something profound begins to shift. The new neural pathways have gained enough strength to influence your automatic thoughts and behaviors. You start thinking differently without effort. Your emotional responses begin matching your desired reality rather than your past experiences. You're no longer pretending to be someone else. You're becoming someone else at the most fundamental neurological level. This is when the external world begins to reorganize itself around your new electromagnetic signature. The people, opportunities, and circumstances that match your elevated state start gravitating toward you with increasing frequency. What once seemed impossible now feels inevitable, because you've literally rewired your brain to expect and attract these experiences automatically. The quantum field doesn't distinguish between what you're visualizing and what you're living. It only responds to the coherence and intensity of your electromagnetic broadcast. When your thoughts, emotions, and brainwaves align in perfect harmony around your desired reality, the field has no choice but to mirror that coherence back to you in the form of matching experiences. Understanding this science removes all doubt about whether manifestation is real. It's not mystical or magical. It's the inevitable result of applied neuroscience. When you systematically rewire your brain to match the patterns of your desired reality, that reality must manifest because you've become neurologically identical to someone who already lives it. This is why consistency during these 3 days is absolutely crucial. Every moment of doubt you entertain, every old thought pattern you indulge, sends mixed signals into the field and slows down your transformation. But every moment you maintain coherence between your inner dialogue and your desired reality accelerates the manifestation process exponentially. As you continue this practice, you'll discover that manifestation isn't something you do. It's something you become. You don't try to attract abundance, you embody the neural patterns of an abundant person. You don't hope for better health. You think, feel, and speak from the consciousness of someone who experiences perfect vitality. You become the living, breathing frequency of your desires. The most profound realization comes when you understand that there's no separation between you and what you want to manifest. In the quantum field, the observer and the observed are one. When you change the observer, your thoughts, emotions, and neural patterns, you automatically change what you observe in your external reality. This isn't philosophy, it's measurable physics. Moving forward, you now have the scientific understanding and practical tools to manifest any reality you choose. The only question remaining is whether you're willing to commit to the neurological discipline required for transformation. Are you ready to think differently, feel differently, and speak to yourself differently for 3 consecutive days? Are you prepared to become neurologically identical to the person who already lives your dreams? The universe is waiting for your coherent signal. Your new reality is waiting for you to embody its frequency. The only thing standing between you and your desires is the choice to apply this science consistently. Right now, in this moment, you have the power to begin rewiring your brain for the life you truly want. The question isn't whether this works. The question is whether you'll do the work. If you're truly ready to transform your reality using this neurological approach, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications. The journey we're taking together goes far beyond traditional manifestation techniques. We're exploring the cutting edge of consciousness science, and every video builds on the last to create a complete transformation system. Don't let doubt or delay rob you of the life you're meant to live. What I want you to understand deeply is that this 3-day protocol isn't just another manifestation technique. It's a complete neurological transformation system. Every single thought you think during this period is either building the bridge to your new reality or reinforcing the walls of your old one. There's no middle ground, no neutral territory in consciousness. Your brain is constantly choosing which neural networks to strengthen, and those choices are creating your future right now. The most powerful aspect of this process happens in those quiet moments between sleeping and waking, when your brain waves naturally shift into theta frequency. This is the same state shamans and mystics have accessed for thousands of years to commune with higher dimensions of consciousness. But now we understand the science behind these ancient practices. In theta state, your brain becomes incredibly receptive to new programming, allowing you to literally install new beliefs and behaviors directly into your subconscious mind. As you practice this protocol, you'll begin to notice subtle but profound changes in how you perceive reality itself. Colors might seem more vibrant. Synchronicities begin appearing with increasing frequency. People start responding to you differently because your electromagnetic field has shifted. You're broadcasting a completely different signal into the world, and the world must respond accordingly. This isn't metaphysics, it's the inevitable result of coherent brainwave patterns influencing your environment. One of the most remarkable discoveries in neuroscience is that your brain cannot distinguish between a vivid mental experience and a real physical one. When you speak to yourself with absolute emotional conviction about your desired reality, your nervous system begins adapting as if that reality already exists. Your stress response diminishes because your brain no longer perceives lack or limitation. Your immune system strengthens because you're generating coherent heart rhythms. Your entire physiology shifts to match the person you're becoming. This understanding completely revolutionizes how we approach personal transformation. Instead of waiting for external circumstances to change before feeling grateful, abundant, or peaceful, you begin generating these elevated emotions intentionally. You become the cause rather than the effect in your own life. You stop reacting to your environment and start creating it through the coherent frequency of your thoughts and feelings. The quantum field is infinitely intelligent and responsive, but it requires clarity and consistency to manifest your desires. When your inner dialogue fluctuates between confidence and doubt, between gratitude and complaint, you're sending mixed signals that confuse the field and delay your manifestation. But when you maintain coherent focus on your desired reality for 3 consecutive days, something magical happens. The field begins organizing circumstances to match your unwavering inner state. During these 3 days, you might experience what I call neurological turbulence, moments when your old identity fights to maintain control. You might feel uncomfortable, anxious, or even physically unwell as old neural pathways dissolve and new ones form. This is completely normal and actually a positive sign that transformation is occurring at the deepest levels of your being. Your familiar self is dying, so your elevated self can be born. The key during these challenging moments is to remember that discomfort is temporary, but transformation is permanent. Every time you push through doubt and maintain alignment with your new reality, you're building neurological strength that will serve you for the rest of your life. You're literally evolving your consciousness, upgrading your brain's operating system to match higher dimensions of possibility. What makes this protocol so powerful is its basis in measurable science. Using advanced brain imaging technology, we can observe in real time how focused intention changes neural architecture. We can measure the electromagnetic coherence that emerges when thoughts and emotions align. We can document how elevated states of consciousness influence gene expression, immune function, and even the aging process. This isn't belief, it's observable, repeatable phenomenon. As you progress through the 3 days, you'll discover that manifestation becomes effortless when you stop trying to force outcomes and start embodying the frequency of your desires. You're not pushing energy out into the world, hoping something will change. Instead, you're drawing your desired reality to you by becoming an irresistible magnetic match for those experiences. You transform from someone who wants abundance to someone who is abundance, from someone seeking love to someone who radiates love. The final breakthrough comes when you realize that you've never been separate from what you desire. In the quantum field, all possibilities exist simultaneously in a state of pure potential. Your focused consciousness collapses specific possibilities into your physical reality. You're not creating something from nothing. You're selecting which of the infinite possibilities will become your experience. This is why manifestation feels so natural once you understand the mechanics. You're simply choosing which version of reality to observe. By the end of the 3 days, you'll have built new neural pathways that automatically generate thoughts, emotions, and behaviors aligned with your desired reality. You won't have to consciously work to maintain positive thinking. It will become your natural state. You won't have to remind yourself to feel grateful. Gratitude will flow from you spontaneously. You'll have rewired your brain to default to elevation rather than limitation. This transformation extends far beyond personal manifestation. When you consistently operate from elevated states of consciousness, you become a living example of human potential. Your coherent electromagnetic field influences everyone around you, often causing others to spontaneously shift into higher states themselves. You become a catalyst for collective transformation, helping raise the consciousness of our entire species. The implications of this understanding are staggering. If enough people learn to generate coherent brain waves and elevated emotions consistently, we could literally create a more peaceful, abundant, and compassionate world. We could solve collective challenges not through force or manipulation, but through the unified field of consciousness itself. This is the true promise of applied neuroscience, not just personal transformation, but planetary evolution. Right now, as you prepare to begin this journey, know that you're not just changing your own life. You're contributing to a global awakening, a collective shift toward higher consciousness that's already underway. Every coherent thought you think, every elevated emotion you generate, every moment you choose love over fear adds to the morphic field of transformation that's available to all humanity. The time for waiting is over. The time for hoping and wishing has passed. The time for transformation is now. You have the knowledge, the tools, and the science to completely rewire your reality in just 3 days. The only question that remains is whether you'll commit to the practice with the intensity and consistency required for permanent change. Your new life is not waiting for you somewhere in the future. It exists right now in the quantum field of infinite possibility. All you have to do is align your consciousness with that reality and maintain that alignment long enough for it to materialize in your physical experience. 3 days of disciplined focus is all that stands between you and the life you've always dreamed of living. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications, because this journey is just beginning. In upcoming videos, we'll dive deeper into advanced techniques for accelerating manifestation, overcoming resistance, and maintaining elevated states even in challenging circumstances. Together, we're not just learning about consciousness, we're evolving it. We're not just studying transformation, we're embodying it. Close your eyes for a moment and make this declaration: I am ready to become neurologically identical to the person who lives my dreams. Feel the truth of that statement resonating through every cell of your being. Then open your eyes and begin. Your new reality starts with the very next thought you choose. Make it count.